All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the state of AI in 2025. And to do that, we're using a brand new report from Bessemer Venture Partners as our star chart for this new AI cosmos. Now, if you haven't heard of Bessemer, they're one of the oldest and most respected venture capital firms in tech. They've already bet over $1 billion on AI startups, so when they talk, we should probably listen. Let's see what they have to say.
So right off the bat, they hit us with this. They're not just saying AI is big, they're saying it's the biggest wave of technology change they've ever seen. Think about that. These guys have seen the internet, mobile, the cloud, and they're saying this is bigger. They call this moment the first light after the AI Big Bang. You know that incredible period where all the chaos starts to settle down and the first galaxies, the first real, lasting companies begin to take shape. It's a pretty epic way to frame what's happening right now.
But that brings us to the real question, doesn't it? For every incredible breakthrough, there are 1,000 headlines of pure hype. So how do you tell what's real and what's just noise? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. And thankfully, our guides on this journey, Bessemer, have literally put over $1 billion on the line to find that answer. So let's dig into what they've learned. Okay, Act 1, Identifying the Stars. Bessemer's report kicks off by telling us to, basically throw out the old playbook. What made a great software startup in the past, it just doesn't quite cut it anymore. They're seeing two totally new types of companies emerge in this new universe. So first up, you've got what they call AI Supernovas. And the name is perfect. These are startups that are growing faster than anything we've ever witnessed in software history. I mean, we're talking about companies going from 0 to 100 million in revenue in their first year. It's just mind-blowing. But like a real supernova, that kind of explosive growth can be a double-edged sword. It can be a sign of some serious risks, like maybe customers can leave easily or maybe they're not actually making any money. And then you have the shooting stars. Now, these companies are also growing like crazy, but they look a little more familiar, more like the amazing durable software companies of the past. They've really nailed their product market fit, which just means they found a real problem that people will happily pay to solve. That lets them build a loyal customer base and, crucially, have really solid, healthy profit margins. These guys are built to last.
And when you put them side by side, you can really see these two completely different paths to success in the AI world. It's not just about how fast you grow, it's about how you grow. One is this all-out breakneck sprint, and the other is more like a supercharged marathon.
This is where it gets really interesting, because the data doesn't lie. Look at this. For Supernovas, year one revenue, an insane $40 million on average. And look at the revenue per employee, over $1 million. That's just wild efficiency. But here's the catch. Their gross margin is only 25%. Compare that to the shooting stars. They start a little smaller, sure, but their margins are a much healthier 60%. It just goes to show there are two totally different, but viable, ways to build a massive company right now.
All right, on to Act 2, Exploring the Galaxies. Now we're zooming out from individual companies to look at entire market segments. And what we're seeing is not just a few new products, but a fundamental change in how software actually works, especially for big businesses. So, for as long as most of us can remember, the big dogs of enterprise software, your Salesforce, your Oracle, they've been practically untouchable. Once a company started using their software, it was so woven into everything they did that ripping it out was just not an option. But Bessemer's point is that those powerful defenses, those moats, are starting to crumble. And AI is the cannonball that's breaking down the walls. And this right here is the heart of that shift. For years, software was all about being a system of record. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet. It just stored your data. But now, we're moving to systems of action. This new wave of AI software doesn't just sit there, it acts on the data. It automates tasks, it runs workflows, and it actually helps you do your job. So how are these smaller startups pulling this off? Well, AI gives them some serious superpowers. They can sneak in with what Bessemer calls an AI Trojan horse feature, one killer AI tool that gets them in the door. Then, bam, they can set up their whole system 90% faster than the old guard. They can automatically suck in all of a company's old data, and the real kicker, they can deliver a 10x return on investment compared to the old stuff. I mean, with an offer like that, why wouldn't you switch?
Okay, we've looked at the stars and galaxies that exist today. For Act 3, let's use the report as a telescope and take a peek at what's coming next. Bessemer wrapped up with their top predictions for the year ahead. Prediction number 1. The humble web browser is about to get a massive upgrade. It's set to become the main interface for what's called agentic AI, basically AI that can do things for you. Your browser won't just be for looking at websites, it'll be a launchpad for AI agents that can manage your email, book flights, and run tasks across all your apps. As Bessemer puts it, let the new browser wars begin.
Number 2. We've seen AI master images. We're seeing it master voice. The next big frontier, you guessed it, video. The report says the next 12 to 24 months are going to be all about generative video. This is going to be a game changer.
And this timeline lays it out perfectly. Look, 2024, that was the year AI images really blew up and went mainstream. 2025 is shaping up to be the year for AI voice. And that means by 2026, they're predicting generative video will cross the chasm. It'll become good enough and cheap enough to be used everywhere. We're talking about a fundamental shift in everything from movies to marketing.
And prediction number 3, the empire strikes back. For the last couple of years, the startups have been running the show. But the big tech giants are not just going to sit there and watch. Bessemer says to get ready for a huge wave of M&A activity. The giants are going to start buying their way into the future.
So after all that, what does it mean for you? For anyone actually trying to build something in this space? Well, the report wraps up by giving us a set of coordinates, a founder's edge, if you will, for how to navigate this new world.
Okay, so here are the big takeaways. First, your competitive advantage, your moat, isn't just code anymore. It's memory and context. Products that remember and learn from you will win. Second, you have to build those systems of action we talked about, not just boring old systems of record. Third, speed is everything. Getting a new customer set up in hours, not months, is a huge strategic weapon. And finally, you have to constantly prove that your AI is actually working and providing value. But it all comes down to this one really important idea. In a world where anyone can access powerful AI models, just having a better model isn't enough. You need a better model of the world. The real, lasting advantage isn't just the tech, it's human insight. It's taste, it's judgment, it's having a strong opinion about what the future should look like.
And so, that's where we're left. The AI universe is expanding at an incredible rate. The only question left is, what are you going to build in it?